Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Oracle Talks. I am Jynnette the Oracle. Happy full moon to everyone in Virgo. This energy is very interesting, but I'll get into that in a second. As usual, as you come in, please do like the video. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. This helps this platform to grow and to spread. What I'm doing right now is separating the major arcana from the tarot, apart from the minor arcana. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Again, happy full moon in Virgo. So I do want to actually jump in and talk about this energy briefly because it is so powerful. It's beautiful. There's nothing negative, but so much I'm being told from Spirit. So much is being cleared through the Akasha. As you may know, if you are relatively familiar with astrology, Pisces is the last sign before we start over again with the astrological new year in Aries, which for those of us in the Western Hemisphere is spring equinox, which is happening in about a month. And that full moon is going to be the full moon in Aries. But yeah, in this context energetically, you know, this Pisces energy, this Pisces corridor that we just entered in on Monday with the sun shifting into Pisces, we have come into a part of the cycle where we fully must surrender to the energetic wave, the wisdom and the movement of the divine in our lives. And it can almost feel like a holding pattern, which is why Pisces is connected to the Hanged Man card in the tarot. So I'll be interested to see if it comes out when I pull to see who is anchoring the message for us, overlighting the message. But yeah, Sunday night into Monday was a really interesting corridor because not only was the sun shifting out of the divine masculine, but also divine mind principle of Aquarius into Pisces. So basically being so attuned and in tune with the divine mind that the merge into the all that is occurred over that threshold, which is what the Pisces is the dissolvement into the all. It's the union with the all. So that was that energy. And then we also had Chiron, which we associate archetypally with the wounded healer. That shifted out of Pisces into Aries. So there's this interesting, and Pisces, you know, as I mentioned earlier, is the end of the zodiac and the shift into the renewal phase. And Aries is literally the rebirth, or the son of God, the daughter of God being birthed out of that communion with the all. So it's this constant growth and expansion and contraction and coming into oneness, and in the power of that oneness birthing forth another cycle. So we have this simultaneous experience of a rebirth on a deeper personal level of self, and whatever area of life you may be dealing with. You know, a lot of you have been facing or addressing ancestral patterns in the family, whether it's the maternal line or the paternal. Usually, though, I've been finding it's been more patterns with the maternal lineage or issues with the father that have been coming up for many. Or it's been other past life stuff, as it's been for me, and deep healing there through the heart and just general release. And it's been an interesting process of healing because it hasn't been as in depth or burdensome or painful or mentally taxing as it has in the past, especially when we had all of that Scorpio energy going on. In particular, the tail end of 2018 with Venus finishing her cycle through Scorpio, and then also obviously Jupiter doing so. It definitely hasn't been on that level, but what we can sense now is that things are just coming up and it can be witnessed, it can be presenced, and essentially just giving our consent for the divine to wash it away. And that's the part that we play in this process, is verbally saying in our healing work or in our meditation, what have you, that you're releasing this contract, you're releasing this way of being, you're releasing this behavior, you're releasing this agreement, you're releasing this connection in this particular way to the family structure or this orientation. And it just gently is being washed away and cleared away. And that is going to be available and occurring for everyone through the entire month of the Pisces archetype, or that ray, if you will, until we shift into spring equinox. And I expect, those days leading into spring equinox, so about mid-March, around March 15th or so, and then the equinox happens on the 20th, that may be a really interesting corridor that everyone experiences. It. You may have that sense, and we may have that sense, honestly, collectively, where we have the perception of being like that time out of time perception and experience. And again, new agreements, new contracts, new experiences being available that we can say yes to in all of these moments of release. And that's one of the things that I think is actually absolutely fascinating with this process that, again, seems to have started to shift from last week, is that while, yeah, there is release happening, what it's really showing you is what's there, what actually has been deposited, what actually has already been developing and growing. And so there's an opportunity in this transitional period, Pisces being a mutable sign, to soften into and also strengthen the ability to say yes to what is there, that is true, that is real, that is simple, that is pure, that is loving, that is open, that is supportive, and know that this is your birthright. Know that this is what the divine has been working on literally almost for the past year, to be honest. And yeah, that what I just heard was that the fight is over. Let me check real quick to see what is going on astrologically around that time, though, mid-March. I think in terms of why the energy definitely shifted like mid to late last week was because of this really important quarter of transits with Uranus. Uranus being the Tower card, the liberator, Shiva energy, breaking us out of that which binds us, and also Mars shifting as well too. But Uranus was speaking through very clearly last week. So specifically last Monday, Tuesday, the conjunction with Mars and Uranus actually happened on Tuesday. But I think I had mentioned in last week's Oracle talks that I was already feeling the energy the day before. So some of you might have as well. Uranus as that Tower energy can be either or both and an experience of revelation, new inspiration, creativity coming through, especially with Mars feeling a boost of energy. On the flip side, though, it can be a breaking down of a situation, of agreement, relationship, or what have you that is not in alignment. Because again, Uranus is the liberator. It's going to break you out of things. So, at least on some level, there should have been coming up then about what was available to you unfold for you. Thursday was when Mars shifted into Taurus. So it's been in this pure fire energy, which it rules essentially for the past 6 weeks, and has come into Taurus, which is the energy that is grounded in what do I value, what's important to me, but also figuring out your why. Like, why do I want this? What is really important? What am I really willing to fight for? What is my standard for myself? What are my needs? What are my desires? Right? It's, yeah. And then I thought there was another transit with Venus and, oh yeah, okay, so it was Sunday, the 17th, where Venus was sextiling Neptune. And Venus is right now in Capricorn, it's in Capricorn right now. The Sun also sextiled Neptune. So that was a really healing day this past Sunday. Venus for me represents our higher self, the part of us that is healed, whole, flourishing, wise, caring, loving, etc. So having that planetary energy, having a conversation with the mother goddess energy, which is what Neptune is for me, or the mother god principle, the quantum waters, the experience of the divine, both actually the sun, the soul, the spark of light, divinity, as well as our mind, our consciousness, in our higher self, having a communion, having a deep healing on a heart level, on a physical body level as well too, on a subconscious level, on an unconscious level, deep restoration happening, deep rest, really, really beautiful. This week coming up, if you're already on a newsletter, you should have seen the this week's astrology transit. But this Friday, we're gonna have Venus conjuncting Pluto. So Friday is going to be a really powerful day. There may be some commitments that get made, you within yourself, or for project, business, relationship. And I say that because, Pluto can deal with contracts and power and connection to others, but also Mercury is squaring Jupiter. Mercury is our communication, our mind, also how we process. Jupiter is healing us in Sagittarius. Now, the thing about Jupiter right now, like I know everyone's been talking about it, as well as myself, about the fire and the expansion and the growth and opportunity for spiritual and personal development and all that kind of stuff, which definitely still holds true. But we also have to remember that Sagittarius sits in the location of the sky that's in alignment with the galactic center of our Milky Way galaxy. So Jupiter, as the guru, is walking this path that Saturn walked, 2.5 years ago, from 2015 to 2017. Bringing healing, bringing clarity, but still bringing things up for us to see and to work through, and to help us transcend and ascend through. And as the magnifier that Jupiter is, these direct experiences with Source are being amplified. through the transit of this part of the sky. So this year is going to be, while so quintessentially helping to heal the divine masculine principle, which I've been talking about, for a while, right, throughout this year, it's still working on the feminine principle, but on the deeper mother God principle aspect, pure source energy, and helping to anchor and graft and integrate in a really powerful and profound way. So let me drink some tea first and then see who is overlighting a message for us. Keep clearing, keep continuing to actively engage with your release work. Again, it actually shouldn't feel heavy unless you're really experiencing a lot of energy release or you're pulling in a lot of energy. So please be sure to continue to rest, because we are still in winter in the Northern Hemisphere, all right? Like, I know the sun is coming out more, which I'm really happy about as a Florida girl. You can feel spring, right? It's like just around the corner, but you still need to rest, okay? Still need to take it easy as best as possible. All right, so let's see. Let me have everyone take a few deep breaths. 5 nice deep breaths slowly on your own. Also, working with Archangel Michael has been especially grounding for me personally. So if that energy has been coming up, or sun energy has been coming up, or the color yellow or the color gold, if you don't have an affinity for Michael, you can work with any of the other sun-related deities, if you like, or divine beings. If you don't like the terminology deity, for me, it's neither here nor there. Everybody's family, so I don't really do the hierarchical thing. We're all fractals of one big soup. And all of the energies live through and as us. All right, so who is overlighting our message for this week and our guidance for this full moon in Virgo? As a water sign, I'm like all sorts of loopy. Like, I'm already loopy because we're in a water season now. But this full moon is like, I'm so out of it. I'm so out of it. Okay. We just need one card. I keep getting multiple, so it's a lot of energy. Interesting. The Devil card came up. And the base is Jupiter. Breaking out of cycles. So let's see what is available for us then. This is an opportunity card. What's available for us to work on releasing in our own personal experience, or even collectively. And with the perspective or with the intention of flipping this from an orientation on the soul level of power over to an orientation of power with, i.e. shifting from the dark to the light in whatever particular area this is referring to. So let's see what all that is about. And the Devil, thank you for the messages. Thank you for overlighting, and thank you to Jupiter for coming through. as well with your healing energy. And Archangel Zadkiel. Again, welcome and good morning to those of you who have come in. Please like the video if you haven't already and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Interesting energy. One second. Okay, so it looks like everyone recently, within this last week or so, either had some kind of heart opening or spiritual ascension experience. Princess of Wands. This is the card of spring, but it also is heart opening, creativity, being on a new spiritual journey. What we also would have experienced in this past week and a half for sure is clarity and being able to see things from a higher perspective. But yeah, I'm getting renewal of heart. So again, whatever the context is for you, if you've been working on family stuff, if you've been actively engaging with that work, you may have gotten yourself to a place where you finally feel free and that your heart is free. If there's been issues with like a grandparent or, whatever, but I'm getting a lot of heart energy, but like balance. And this is all about creating the experience that you want. So this healing work that is occurring for everyone, again, in your specific context, is about what makes you happy. Okay? Because this is the long-term thing that's being addressed, the Nine of Cups, which is another Jupiter energy. And this is actually Jupiter in Pisces. So you may have had... you may actually be finally receiving now on a deeper level. Receiving meaning the thought and the comprehension of the thing has been there, of the concept has been there, but because of this renewal of heart, that the understanding has come down to the heart level and now is sitting there. Like that seed has actually been able to drop in and plant and now is able to grow, which is ultimately what the Spirit is saying here. Being able to flourish and develop in that energy that's just been deposited. Of, specifically, you being able to have what you want. Understanding that you do deserve it. That it's okay to ask for what you want. That it's okay to express your needs and your desires. That it's okay to be uniquely you. And this is on an emotional level, cups, right? Into the heart. So that's finally actually like been received. because this clarity, it came first, the divine mind, again, first, then the heart opening because of the healing work. And now we actually get to face this and be what's really there. What do we really want? Balance is being maintained within and is being supported by the divine. This is also, for those of you who this is relating to relationships specifically, this is one of the cards that I associate with twin flame energy. Twin flame energy really being within, right? The balance of the divine masculine and feminine within, and part of the ascension process. So this, again, can be about you having either just experienced your first stage of ascension work or being in the process of that right now. And this corridor of Pisces is supporting that, because this is also for me related to, it's Venus and Aries, but I get spring energy with this as well too. So you may really be going through your own inner twin flame journey, but this could also be a twin soul situation. So I just heard the energetic field is being stabilized with these shifts. So for those of you, because I know there's been a lot of folks who have been meeting their twin or twins, because I don't think we all have one. You've heard me talk about this, like we don't just have one twin. You may be finding, if you've been able to release a karmic interaction with a twin that's been kind of on and off for years, just messy, if you've, heart-wrenchingly been able to let that person go, because I know it's rough, you may find that a new twin or twins come in at this point. I'm also hearing community. That word came through very strongly. And I've also talked about that too. This year, I really think is going to be so centered on relationship, but not just in a romantic context, because I know that's where our mind tends to go. But it's reuniting with soul tribe. It doesn't mean that you're leaving the current soul tribe, but it's more folks coming online and more soul recognition. So this is all being supported and guided by the divine for everyone. But of course, it's going to be specific to what this relates to. So you have to translate this for your own experience. So whatever is being anchored, again, depending on your particular context, by summer, fall, you should feel like you have actually fully embodied the wish. Because once we've opened the heart, and what has been in the conscious mind, because we're here, this has been working, Prince of Swords. Once that shifts down a dimension into the emotion or so astral body, if we're working fifth dimensional down, if you're working the ascension process, it'd be from your etheric template or the fifth level. into the astral body and the marriage of the human or the incarnate with the divine, or the mental body shifting down a dimension, integrating energy down into the emotional body level, right? So whether we're talking about emotional body or astral body, it's still the waters. It's still cups, right? Once that is done, then it shifts in, then it has the opportunity to shift into the earth aspect, which is the physical embodiment. So this would be the physical body, the physical template. Or again, if you're working on the ascension stuff, then it would be the mind opening up to and having the sacred marriage with the higher self, and that being clear. Because this actually is divine marriage, the Four of Wands. But again, it can be the internal, one of the levels of divine marriage, because there are multiple levels to you as an individual soul. Okay, so again, as it relates to you. So this is a divine marriage within or a divine marriage without. Now, for a very select few of you, this might actually be physical marriage, but for I think most of the folks that are watching me, this is probably, if it's an external experience, this is a union with another. Okay? But regardless, healing, heart, openness. And we're going on this journey again of the stepping down or essentially shifting dimensions so that there's physical embodiment. Okay, Prince of Earth. Getting into the body. Because we're already stable, we're already grounded, we are already in our power, which is one of the, so we already know how to do this and lean on this. That's our strength, the Nine of Pentacles or Earth. And part of that, again, is because we have this divine mind, that clarity is there, that oversight. So it's interesting, we're going on this embodiment journey. And so what's available to help us with that, or the action to take and what can help us with that? Action to take, the Princess of Earth. Let's do that. Strategies, Princess of Swords. So there's essentially the sacred cross of the masculine and the feminine. The feminine being the center line, right? So I can't show the cards this way, but this is the action. This is here. The strategy is up here with the Princess of Swords. So the feminine is the fuel. The masculine, or the magnetic field. The masculine is the action or the electrical principle. Proton, neutron versus electron. Mother God principle, which births the Father God principle. But also the princesses in this deck, the Thoth deck, which I'm using, actually relate to the physical embodiment. But I won't confuse y'all. I won't confuse y'all. I'll teach that in a class that's upcoming about the cards, particularly this Thoth deck, because I use this primarily when I'm doing work, divination work. So the action to take, again, hello to those of you coming in. Thank you. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're returning. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Thank you. So, okay, what I was hearing with this in terms of the actions to take is do the things that are for you to do and just take it one step at a time. The earth energy is a slow moving energy, so it's a day by day, hour by hour, moment by moment conscientiousness. I know the mind may be moving fast because this isn't the most regulated energy, the Prince of Swords. Very active. However, in order to shift from this to the physical embodiment and getting comfortable with that, with the seeds growing and multiplying, etc., staying connected to what you want, staying into your balance, and being precise and clear about what you want. And you do already know. You do already know. The character in this card, she's actually defending the altar. This is the altar back here. From errant thoughts or belief systems or things that are not in alignment with deepest heart's desires. Okay, that she's the protector of the sacred heart. So this clarity of what the heart wants and needs will help inform your decisions and your physical actions. So as you're deciding what to do for each, circumstance that pops up, or for the day, or for business, for relationship, whatever, dropping out of the mind and into the heart, because that's actually where the wisdom and the power is. This princess is the most powerful princess because she's already anchored in her power and divinity. She also has the altar back there. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, so she's already clear and connected. She's already balanced. So she's holding the rose, which again is the heart energy, and the rose within is balanced between the light and the dark, the divine masculine and feminine energy within. She's already pregnant, meaning she's received the seed that has come down from the higher dimensions and come into the emotional body, or into the heart, or into the astral body, however it's relating to you, and it's being incubated. And so she's holding space for it, providing nourishment, keeping herself strong and steady and balanced so that she can help with the birthing, which is really what Virgo is about. It's a processor, but it births something brand new. Virgo is actually what shifts us from the human experience into the balance of human with divine, the marriage of human and divine, which is actually the Libra energy. Libra is the divine marriage. But yeah, she's asserting her will, singular in thought and focus, based off of everything that she's holding and embodying. Center card, which I know is just going to keep coming up throughout the year. 4 of Cups, which is the moon in Cancer. And every time I see this, I'm like, North Node in Cancer, the individual soul. And this is you as an individual soul, your heart. Letting this lead. These calm waters here. 4 of Cups. So that's the individual experience of balance. This is emotional neutrality. There's still full emotion. There's a great ability to experience and to feel all the emotions that are there. But everything is still balanced in that experiencing. That's the individual heart, individual soul. When we get to the Six of Cups, that can talk about the active engagement of the individual soul throughout the world, but it also can talk about that partnering energy, because six is a number of communion with the other. Which is why, this Four of Wands, again, can be the internal experience of the twin flame journey, or an external, because it is still hard, but fours are dual in that way. Sixes are creative. So individually creative or interrelated creativity. The Eight, which is actually just under the Four, Eight of Cups, is the Oversoul. The Oversoul of your individual soul, your individual expression. The Ten of Cups would be the human collective oversoul. If you want to relate the cards in that context. Anywho, let me see if there's any final messages, and then I will save the last 15 minutes for questions. If you do have questions, you can go ahead and start typing them in. All of that yawning is different energies and messages that have been coming through or that have been holding. It's been a lot of energy. So, in part, yes, I'm tired, but the yawning isn't because I'm tired. It's the messages. Throat chakra is the communication center. So, okay, energies are slowly leaving and helping me ground. Thank you. Okay, they're bringing my attention back to the Devil card. So this is basically showing you this process that you're in right now that honestly, again, has truly started at least within the last week. That you're in the process of doing this shift out of an old pattern or cycle into something new, and having a better relationship with power. That's what the Devil card asks or addresses, is power and how we use it. This is also about physical manifestation in the material world and how we show up in that way. and how we work with the matrix, because we can't. The matrix of simulation is what it is. Because we're in the manifest universe. So once we come out of the no thingness and come into form, whether at the galactic level or at the atomic level and everything in between, it is all a matrix. Matrix meaning overlapping systems of consciousness. So in this process of healing and releasing, we have the opportunity to become a more conscious creator and manipulator, for lack of a better word, of the matrix in which we walk through and work through. And our taking of our power back in that regard to consciously choose something and to create something is our birthright, as it is for every individual. And so when we have that clarity of our own wishes and desires, which again are being birthed from our individual soul, that is what's so key and so important, especially if this is relating to relationships, whether romantic or because I don't think it's one or the other. I think collectively, like, all of this is happening, as I've already spoken about. This helps to amplify the effect of two or more gathering in the name of the Christic consciousness, the crystalline consciousness, to create new archetypal systems. Because the thing is, the systems that we fight or that we feel that oppress us are created by collective agreement. And they can be dismantled easily. But part of that, and really I think what the main thing is part of that is the creation of new overarching systems of consciousness that are aligned with joint, agreed upon wishes and hopes and desires. But it has to really be coming from a deeper place, not up here, right? It has to be birthed from the heart, and that's why this heart renewal has been so important, so key. Ooh, okay, I just heard. I'm gonna try not to cry. It's not a feeling of cry in a heavy sense. It's beauty. I heard your life is about to change. Changing in a way that is unexpected. But in a way that makes you so happy and so free. And so loving and experiencing so much love and lightness and joy and freedom. I'm also hearing play with the energies. Be childlike, not childish, right? Be childlike in heart and see what's there. Just see what's unfolding as a new discovery, and know that you are safe because you already know. The clarity in mind is there. The clarity in heart is there. Merge with your beingness so that the clarity remains. Continually reinforce that. Just let it go, whatever is leaving. You don't have to hold on to it, and Jupiter is helping all of us make that transition as we shift through this corridor, as with it being the last planet that last outer planet, shifting through the galactic center corridor of Sagittarius. That Aquarian energy is going to be so interesting. I don't think any of us really know what that's going to be and what that's going to look like. Because it feels like a utopia of the heart. And yeah, of course, there will be a lot of changes out in the physical world, but I think those of us who are on the light path, also those who are light workers, we're going to get what we came here for, or start to be able to experience and see what we came here for, because the door already open and we walk through it. Especially those of us who came, like myself, those who came from a future incarnation back here to help the collective ascension, but also back here for our own human experience. And it's beautiful. And we get to have it. Simply. It's a lot to kind of to be able to speak because it's so full. It creates a lot of emotion in me positively. So just stay with it, one step at a time. Make every experience, every moment, every interaction deeply loving, deeply pure of heart, deeply clear. The more you do this, the more amazing that experience is going to be. Walk in integrity. Walk in integrity with your heart's desires. And that's what Uranus is going to be doing collectively as well once it shifts back into Taurus, which is going to be March 6th, I believe. Which is also around that same day or maybe the day after that Mercury goes retrograde. But again, Taurus is about my desires, right? Individual desires. And Uranus is integrity. And it's going to be the new. It's going to be anchoring that spark of light that it's been sitting in with the divine masculine principle of Aries for the past 7 years. Anchoring that down into the material. Okay. Oh, see, we got some more folks in. Hello, everyone. If you're just joining, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Ooh, that was a channel. All right. And that is it, because I can immediately, I feel better, like you see me like perk up. That was, oh my God, that was so beautiful. That really took a lot not to like burst into tears of just love and gratitude and joy and just the overwhelm of how beautiful that energy is. Just yeah. So I saw people were actually writing comments, so I'm gonna go and scroll back up. I didn't expect that last message to actually be a full 15 minutes. So all right. Good morning, Leslie. Renewal of heart, yes, not a done deal, but something sure shifted. Yeah, something shifted. And again, we're gonna still be in that energy. I think even more so in particular over these. And then when we have the new moon, which should actually probably be happening around that same time in the beginning of March, I believe. Yeah, it's also, so the 6th literally is when Uranus goes into Taurus and when we have the new moon in Pisces. So that's going to be a powerful energy. We're really going to be sitting in this, but since we are now having the full moon, this 2-week corridor of the moon now waxing is going to be another great time for just gently clearing and releasing. So really beautiful. The day before, on the 5th, is actually when Mercury goes retrograde. So everything is happening right around that time. So it's a really really powerful corridor. Those first, I would say 3 days, I'm hearing specifically, those first 3 days of the full week of March is going to be really potent. That Wednesday is also Ash Wednesday, so that begins Lent. Yeah, this is gonna be, oh my God, this corridor, like I'm looking at the transits, and actually I have to write up the transits for March for the newsletter next week. I'm actually shifting how I do the newsletters, where I'm still going to be doing weekly newsletters, but once a month I'm going to do the one out of every 4. I'll do the monthly astrology, so I'll just get everything out on that one email, but I'm going to not only give you the transits, but also the degrees, and talk about the major transits for the month, as well as the moon energy, to, I think, give more insight and more depth, and that way you can also go back and reference throughout the month at your own leisure. And I'll do the same with the Lightworker forecast that will come out once every 4 weeks, and that will be a more in-depth discussion about what all is going on in some of the different realms and the ways that comes through for me to provide those messages. Now that I'm remembering about the middle of March, because I forgot earlier. Yeah, on the 14th is actually when we have the waxing half moon. So this is going to be the first quarter square moon in Gemini specifically. And that is also the same day as the Sun conjunct Mercury, which is always a powerful time. And on that day, it's Mars trining Mars in Taurus trining Saturn in Capricorn. And Friday the 15th, the Ides of March, is when Mercury retrograde is going to be squaring Jupiter again. So there's something about, because that square with Jupiter I just spoke about, didn't I? When is that square happening this week? So Friday is the first square that Mercury has with Jupiter. So see what is coming up for you this week, because you're going to revisit it that mid part of March, because that's when it cycles back around because of the retrograde with Mercury. Okay, so see what comes through for you with that. I believe also, doesn't Jupiter go retrograde around that time? Oh no, it's the beginning of April. Never mind. What else is happening around the mid of, because that, oh my God, that Thursday is going to be crazy. So that Wednesday, so 13th, 14th, and 15th. Oh my God, Wednesday is the sun. Wednesday, March 13th is the sun sextiling Pluto. Okay, guys, so the 13th, 14th, and 15th, and pretty much I think on through the spring equinox. Oh my God, the equinox is crazy. Okay, yeah, it's oh, it's gonna be interesting writing up this forecast. If you're not already on my newsletter subscription, sign up, because I obviously am gonna have to be going in this week, because that forecast is actually going to be coming out next week for March in the newsletter. And like I said, it's going to be for the entire month, but I'm going to have to really dig into these transits. It's going to be pretty powerful. There's going to be, for those of you who are doing your ascension work, whatever level that you're at, it's going to be you actually should have some really profound experiences. And then, in other contexts, depending on what it is, it's going to be there. But let me come back to these comments. My goodness. Kinsey Omega says, hello, how are you and everyone? I hope all are well and great. Thank you. Received that. I have been yawning nonstop today. Yeah, I think my yawning started, well, yesterday, because again, way shower life, but it's always before it happens. But that's what that is. Like when you're yawning uncontrollably, like even when you're like, a tired yawn versus just like a yawn that comes out of nowhere, that is actually the opening up of the throat chakra and potentially messages coming in or energies leaving. So it just depends. Stephanie Season says, not sure what my question is. My family has experienced a loss recently of a father figure. Would like to hear your thoughts at people leaving and how to best carry on. Yeah, I mean, there definitely are a lot of folks transitioning right now, both in the physical, but also souls that have been trapped here are being able to leave the earthly realm and transition on to their next level. And there, of course, are light workers who specifically work in that context of, releasing souls that may be trapped in certain environments or buildings or what have you. But that's not a topic for today. So all I'm hearing is just pray for that person. You can also pray for that person and the divine team that walks with them, because now that they're out of the body, like they're back to their true nature. So they're good, they're safe. If they were someone that experienced a lot of personal trauma, mental illness, and things like that, like if they were like really tortured before they left, definitely pray for their team that walks with them. Pray for their healing. Pray for divine support, the archangels to work with them, and all that kind of stuff to support their process of releasing their judgments that they may have and all of that. And then for you and the family, if you like, I work heavily with archangels, so I always go and reference that energy. But Archangel Azrael, so A-Z as in zebra, R-A-E-L, Azrael, is the archangel associated with death and transition. You also could work with the Osiris energy, if you feel a resonance with that, Shiva, but any kind of energetic resonance you have to those that work with transition will be helpful, and it can help you release, but grieve. You're in the process of grieving, and it takes the time that it needs to take. You don't have to rush through it. And fortunately, this is, if it happened recently and you're now coming into the Pisces time, there's a lot of Mother Goddess support. And again, we're still in the elder energy, so grandmother energy, elder energy, to help hold you. And you don't have to hold everything. So pour it out and say, hey, I don't want to hold this anymore, and let it be taken from you. But let yourself have the human experience. Okay? That way you can go through all stages of grief instead of getting stuck. So I hope that helps. Bless you, my love. Tamara says, would you please explain magnetism a bit more? It's coming up for me lately in my cards. I'm not sure I fully understand how to magnetize. Is it purely through focus? So magnetization, if we're talking about the aura, is, when there is what I always refer to as coherence, meaning you're not at war with yourself, like there's not different intentions and things happening. Coherence makes the field of your energy body amplify because it's not being stuck in certain places, which is why, for me, it's always, always, always so important to be focused on your personal healing work, because as you release stuck parts of yourself, especially from childhood, what that actually does is it releases the actual etheric hold in the aura, which also holds up your power of creating in the physical, so that you have access to more of how your soul takes up space in the physical, and how it operates. So that's part of it, always the healing work. Now, the other thing, though, is your moon sign will how best to also manifest in the way that I interpret astrology. So if you have a fire or air element as your moon energy, then it's really important for you to always be engaging with life, having new experiences, traveling, and also working with other people. If you isolate too much, you lose your fuel, you lose your motivation, you won't be able to make headway. If you are water or earth moon, it's important for you to create and be focused on what you want to manifest, and getting out the creative ideas, working on business stuff or what have you, alone. Okay, you need to be generating, creating alone, and being with source, with the wisdom of your own lived experience, etc. And then after you have kind of birthed the vision, you can engage others afterwards. But it's basically the direct opposite of the masculine manifestors in terms of magnetizing. Really, magnetizing is just getting in alignment with how your specific soul naturally operates, as opposed to following this 1, 2, 3 step plan. Those don't really work for everyone, because everyone literally is not hardwired the same, although there are different archetypes. It's just a matter of finding yours. But I found in general, that can help as well. So hopefully that helps you. And if you want to get into more, I would say book a reading, either an astrology reading or the full spectrum reading with me, and we can go in depth, because again, I interpret astrology very, not radically different, but different from others. Also, anything coming up for me specifically for this new moon? I don't think, because I've run over time, I won't be able to get into personal ones, because I do need to actually run. But I think actually what I gave you is what you need. Thank you, love. That was beautiful. You're welcome. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Karen. Charisse, birthday is on 3/15. Oh, wow. Okay. This number has been appearing to me on a regular, almost daily basis. So if that's been coming up, then that means that you are in a very specifically an important corridor. So please continue working on your own healing work, get support, pouring out in a safe space, talking again with counselor, therapist, or what have you, and just releasing the burden. Like, you don't really have to do much else right now. As I mentioned earlier, just release just let it clear so that you can get the download that's most likely going to be coming for you on your birthday. Thank you. Yes, it does help. I started feeling a little lighter after your channel message. Very interesting. Thank you again. You're welcome. Even though I don't necessarily like say that this happens at the top, but I am facilitating or making available healing work for folks just because of the energy that I sit in. So if there is a receptivity to me and to the messages, and there's, you know, obviously consent, there is healing available. Thank you. That was a really clear explanation. Awesome. Awesome. And then Charisse, your comment came in at 11:11. I love it. So the angels are definitely talking to you. You might actually be shifting into your first stage of ascension work, which is healing of the heart and balancing of the polarities at the first level. Like I'm hearing going from the third to the fourth. So the conscious mind and merging into the heart space, which is the astral body. Which may mean that a lot of stuff may just come up to be grieved and to release. So just let it come. And then the divine marriage happens on its own. Like you actually don't have to do anything. All that we're really doing when we do healing work is just removing the blocks on our end to what is naturally there. Okay. All right, guys. So I can feel that is it now. So I'm going to leave again. If you have not already, oh, that is so true. Thank you. Do you have any advice on dealing with a breakup from an emotionally abusive relationship? Clear the cord. Book a cord cutting healing program with me. Clear the cord through the, well, I have to see when I get into your energy field, but most likely, well, no, because it really depends on each relationship where there would be cords. So there's usually going to be at least one, but possibly two since it's a romantic partnership. But you got to clear the energy because, and also, of course, like, you know, if you already work with a counselor, that's important. But in terms of what, you know, I would say and provide as a light worker is you got to clear that connection. And also, too, if there's nothing that's really like coming up for you and up for anyone in general, like, you know, life is pretty chill, this is just a good time to do some spring cleaning energetically. So if there are past relationships, not necessarily negative, but, you know, you're just done with, you know, you guys are done or what have you, just go through and just clear those connections, clear those cords, because everybody that you've had any kind of heart connection or sexual connection or both, there are going to be cords there. So just clean house. It doesn't have to be this big to do. You don't have to always like have something happening, but it's a great time to be like, oh, well, this stuff actually doesn't matter. So why am I still holding on to it? Even though it's not me, but just, you know, let it go and make room for the new. And as we all heal and clear, it speeds up the process of our soul being able to create in the physical, because it's the soul that's driving things, not us. We drive our experience and we drive how effective the manifestation can be in our life, but we don't actually drive creation. We are the created. FYI, we are lived through. Okay? We are not the birther of life. Not even women birth life. They channel life. They don't birth life. Okay? All right, y'all. I love you so much. I really do. Please do sign up for the newsletter. As I said, I'm going to be shifting the content so I can focus more, manage my energy more, but also be able to give more. Because Spirit has also been dealing with me about staying in my lane and doing what I do best, which is bring the divine down. And that's really what people are wanting and starving for. So next week would be the first change, and that's going to be the monthly astrology And the week after that will be the monthly light worker. And after that will be a writing series on a spiritual topic. And then after that will be, the week after will be a monthly writing series to teach something. And I most likely will do some stuff on astrology for that. But anyway, again, love you all. Have a blessed day. Enjoy this Tuesday. Enjoy this full moon. Rest. Lots of hydration. We're in the water season, so lots of hydration. We're doing a lot of healing work and release work. Lots of hydration and rest. And yeah, be blessed.